I'll be discussing build your own role play idea by using storytelling. So essentially, I wanted to integrate a new style of lesson planning. So I wanted my students to go ahead and read Romeo and Juliet and then take a different approach and make it more modern. In that way, students that have never read Romeo and Juliet can easily understand it and it can relate to them via storytelling. So I wanted my students to utilize Google Docs to be able to build on their project, distribute roles, along with continuously input ideas. So in a sense, 1, 2, and 3 build upon collaboration. Students can easily go home or stay at school and build on their project. Students can also easily upload documents along with edit their own document or those of their peers and make comments and give feedback, along with being able to track their information and go back and edit or make further adjustments to build on their project ideas. So my second approach was to allow Google Docs for students to team up and brainstorm to create ideas. So students can collaboratively come up with different roles and establish an understanding of what they would be doing together. I chose to utilize Google Docs. Google Docs is an excellent way to introduce technology-based education to students. Unfortunately, not a lot of students are aware of how to use Google Docs or what it consists of. So thankfully, with this lesson, I can hopefully introduce this new tool to my students where they can utilize it further in their educational career. Now, with Google Docs, students have many tools that they can utilize, so they can make to-do lists, give feedback, and adjust any changes if need be. At any point in time, they can go and make comments with their fellow peers, whether they're in the classroom or not, thankfully. It's a very useful tool. For example, students may upload a picture or a video that can help them remember what part or what line they should be discussing at any specific time. These very neat little tools can help students memorize their scripts for their final goals to be achieved. Very useful. Team members can also help each other and find different tools, different areas to further build their progress. Google Docs does have strengths and also a few limitations. Fortunately, Google Docs is an easy to use app that is readily available to any student. Therefore, any student with a Gmail account can actually log in and create an account and access any link provided to them. Now, if students do not have a Gmail account, due to specific reasons, they can always use their parents' Gmail accounts and easily access, along with maybe school or district already preset ones. Not only can you use the tools in the classroom, but you can also use them outside. So students can come together and build on the report outside of the classroom, whether it be at the library or at a cafe. So students are not limited to a classroom setting to complete their assignment. There are a few limitations. So the app is very useful and has a lot of tools, but there is a few things that it does not provide, such as video recording. Students, when their final project is complete, they will have to present it to the class. Unfortunately, their final document will have to be recorded or presented because they cannot record on Google Docs. They would have to use a third party such as Screencast or Zoom to record their page. Another limitation is storage. Videos that are longer than a certain amount of time cannot be uploaded because of storage issues as well. In addition, a few tools that, for example, are used in day-to-day classrooms or in the office, such as Miro, integrate AI use within their system. So students can easily ask the AI system to generate an image or generate an idea, but unfortunately, Google Docs doesn't have that installed into their system just yet. Brings me to the IEC standards for collaboration. With the help of the IEC standards, students build upon the use of technology at the same time as learning to develop and integrate ideas together. They can examine issues, problems via multiple viewpoints and identify how to readjust them. Students can also use Google Docs to view what they've done, what they're currently doing, and what their future goals are. What they also need to get done can also be pinned or created via to-do list. The IC standards of collaboration will allow the students to develop discussion-based learning, effective feedback, and engage in constructive criticism and comments. Now, students can also develop critical thinking skills along with helpful use of technology. Now, Romeo and Juliet is the main topic students need to focus on, but then they have to research and identify different online tools to be able to generate and create their own approach to how it would be for modern day Romeo and Juliet. Thankfully, the ICT standards for collaboration will allow my students to effectively come together to generate an effective outcome for their project. My timeline is a bit lengthy. It does run about 2 months, so December to January. I wanted to focus more on creative freedom. I didn't want my students to have specific time frames where they would feel limited about what they would incorporate and their ideas. I wanted to have them generate a very strong result. So I wanted to focus on the SAM model, which allowed my students to receive copious amount of feedback from myself and their fellow peers, not only from their groups, but also from other students in their own classroom. So I wanted to essentially start off with group formation and discussion of the topic. So essentially, we would already have read the Romeo and Juliet story, and students would already have a base for what Romeo and Juliet would essentially look like in today's society. Google Docs will also be incorporated next. So next, I would allocate group roles and the formation of Google Docs. Students would create an account, would start to develop their ideas, vote on who they wanted to pick as the main roles and who would do more research, and so on and so forth. Now, building upon Google Docs, I would essentially promote students to use different tools, different templates to actually generate a fun interactive Google document that would essentially portray how they would develop their assignment, giving me different ideas, giving me different imagery, giving me different videos that would actually assist students with their memorization of their lines and how they would have viewed this new project. Now, progress report. I would have students check in via maybe mid-January to identify what their goal is and how they have achieved it throughout these few weeks. Now, I would give students more feedback and helpful tools to help them develop their ideas a bit further before the end of January, which is when their assignment is set to be due. Now, the final area is bringing together the final project. So students will have to present their project either in class or via an online video. They can do it via iMovie or record themselves and present it as well. They would be able to demonstrate what they have learned, and I would also request them to show us their Google Doc where they can show us how they came up with the script, what ideas they came up with, and what research they did to be able to develop their final results. I was able to find a useful Google document on Pinterest that I'm sure my students would be able to utilize within their storytelling progress. Here, students can go ahead and incorporate different characteristics of their characters, their ideas, along with what parts and what roles they will be taking on when developing their role play activity. Essentially, this document assists with collaborating and discussion-based approach, which is essential for the development of my lesson. Thank you so much for watching.